shape creation tool right here. Right beside the geometry is what's called the shape tool. I'm just going to do a simple line, but when I draw a line, I always make sure that I'm going by grids, points, or vertex snap, and you just right click on this little magnet, and that's the snaps toggle. So you can see my highlight, the yellow, and I'm just going to create a line across here, just a standard line, and right click to end. And I'm in the top view doing this. Sometimes Max has an etiquette of drawing things, designing things in certain views better. So I'm going to make a barrel for the gun, and I'm going to use a rectangle for the butt end of the gun. What do you call it? The stock? Is that what you call it? The stock? Yes. Yeah, the stock of the gun. So what I'm going to do now is going to go in the perspective view so you can get a little handle on this. So this line here, I'm going to take the snap off, is the barrel, or the start of the stock to the end of the barrel. And what I'm going to do is use what's called a compound object. It's below standard, it's below extended, and in there's a lot of neat little things, and one of them is Loft. Okay? So what I'm going to do is select the cross section first, not the cross section, the line of sight of the gun, I guess, or the center line of the gun. Select Loft and get shape, and watch what happens when I get the shape. Voila. So what's so good about that? You know, I can do that with a cylinder, but that's not the point. Watch closely. If you watch anything part of this, if you go to the modifier, and I'm going to close all the rollout parameter boxes, go under deformation, scale. Watch this. In here, I can go and insert corner pieces all over the place. What they are, these define the geometry scales in percentages. So I can actually do a muzzle gun or move around and do some really weird shapes, as you can see here. Okay, and I can fool around and make the percentages from 100 on the stock bigger, even exaggerate it on the stock, and do, a muzzle gun, okay, or a bazooka, or whatever you want to call it. And the big power of this is if I go into Loft path, okay, and I'm going to go under Loft and open up the path parameters here and go along the path, and I'm going to go into invisible view so you can see what I mean. See closely at the end, there's a little cursor. I'm going to zoom in because it's really hard on the monitor, but it's vaguely hard to see, but I'll move it up and down. Just a sec here. See it moving? Right here? See it moving along that center line? It's right here. Now watch this. I'm going to go in here. I'm going to say, well, that's the butt end of the gun. I'm going to go get shape and get the rectangle shape of that. And I'm going to go, oh, I don't like the scale of that particular shape. So I can go into shape mode, grab that shape and scale it. And as I keep going along the path of the gun, watch, keep going down, I can change that back into a circle again. So what I'm doing is combining different shapes together to create a futuristic gun. So I'm going to go down, keep the barrel, put another, maybe, get another circle shape. And I'm going to take this circle shape at this point, and I'm going to make it look like an ellipse. So I'm going to make it kind of flat. Okay? So now I got my futuristic gun, okay, with a bunch of little shapes. But even better, if I bring it back to a visible shape again, and I hit F4, there's my wireframe. I want to make it lower level detail for a game. Well, I go back to the modifier, open up what's called the skin parameter deformation, and I can make it low level or high level. I can optimize the shape. Okay, I can optimize it for different types of low level applications. I can, I made a mistake in here, so I can go in the shape, go to the shape at the end here, and I can rotate these shapes to adjust the parameters. I can move them around. I can make it really weird. Okay, so that's a really quick way of creating really quick geometry using Loft shapes. And you can flip the normals. You can get into linear interpolation. There's a lot of things. But one of the most important things of lofting is the texturing. Because if you have a tile texture that you want to follow your loft line, they automatically generate the mapping and you can length repeat your textures. It's really freaking insane with lofting, especially for roads and other things that you want to follow a dashed line along the side of your object. It does it automatically. So anyways, I just thought I'd show you this weapon loft method. And when you're done, you just right click, collapse to an editable poly, and away you go. You can just start editing. Oh, I want to make a hole in the barrel. You just delete that. There's my barrel. And you can go in here and maybe do the trigger system just down below here. So I can go in here and optimize this a bit better than what it is. So I'll delete that, make a border, cap that, which is a really neat technique that I do, and go in here and inset this. So I'll inset that particular geometry. You can find it here in the menu. There it is. And so I'll inset that a little bit. Let's go here, about there, and then I'll extrude that, and create, some type of trigger. Okay, so those are things that you could do and to enhance your modeling skills. Now, the problem is some of the loft, you get some really weird, messed up triangles, but you can just go in here and just remove some of those if you don't want them. Just hit remove, and it cleans up some of the geometry. Okay, to make it a little bit cleaner for a low poly weapon for a game. And so that's just a little weapon loft tutorial on using precision curves, and it's really neat technology. And what I do is always recommend, let me undo all this, is make sure you save the loft as a copy before you collapse it. Make a copy so you can have the original loft parameters. So I'll have this one collapsed as an editable poly, and this is a gun loft. Okay, so I'll always have a file, and this is the gun itself. Okay, so I'm going to save this in my assign out, and that's all I